right. So my name is Dennis, and I'm the artist on the team.
I'm Michael. I'm one of the programmers.
I'm Sean. I did the music and sound effects.
I'm Felix, project manager.
And Joanne, the other programmer.
Awesome.
Excellent. So how did you guys get all of you together for GDC? My understanding was you guys are from around the world.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely our publisher was very helpful in getting us here. But yeah, I mean, it's really difficult because, you know, we're all over the world pretty much. We got 3 Swedes here. Sean's from technically Canada, but he's living in California. I'm from New Jersey. So it's kind of a big timing thing, you know. We all have our own things going on, but it happened to line up perfectly so that we could all. This is actually the first time we've all been meeting in person.
Yeah, all together. And I think it's a good thing to meet each other. So we needed this, so it was necessary.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I totally get that. Actually, I mean, we met so many at other conventions and things like that. People meeting for the first time. And it's kind of crazy nowadays, just with technology and it's just helping the indie game community kind of bloom and explode because you don't have to be in the same room anymore.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, where did you say you guys all met? I mean, did you, like, how did you go about, like, whose baby is this, by the way, first of all? Like, who started? Okay.
I guess so, yeah.
So did you, like, search out on forums, or did you just kind of know some people who knew some people, or?
I guess it's sort of a combination. Like, these 2 guys, I straight up met on Reddit, pretty much. But the other Swedes, I share sort of a longer history with.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean, actually, that's how I met Rev here, through Reddit. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so to the game itself, Hektor, first of all, looks absolutely terrifying.
Ridiculously so.
Yeah, Rev has even bigger issues with it, so I'm excited to see him play it. I know it's you guys have been heavily influenced by frictional games like Penumbra and Amnesia. I even see a little. I don't know if it's purposeful or not, but I even see a little bit of Outlast in it. But then you throw your own twist into it with the psychological horror aspect. Do you want to kind of explain more of that?
Yeah, you're definitely correct in the fact that a lot of our influence lies in the more recent horror games like Amnesia and Penumbra. But it's interesting because we're all, you know, we're a universal team. We're from all over. We all have our own experiences and our own history with games and movies and the media. So we kind of are pulling in bits of inspiration from places that you might not even think is relevant to the project. For example, like I pull in some inspiration from games like Doom, even the original Doom or Doom 3. Unlike, you know, in Doom 3, there are some jump scares, but it's just really trying to set that perfect horror environment and make the player feel more anxious and nervous than jumping out and scaring them all.
Perfect. That's perfect, actually. I'm really excited about that. And 2 of you, I mean, obviously, programming in any game is important, but horror games especially, sound and design are incredibly important to get that immersive atmosphere and get people, like you said, nervous and uncomfortable. Rev, why don't you start with asking? I'm sorry, which one?
Some of the questions.
Which one of you was responsible for sound? That one. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, why don't you go ahead, Rev?
So you actually already answered one of my questions, which was, you know, did you guys have any specific media that inspired you? So I'm going to just have to erase that one. But what caused you guys to decide that you were going to push for, from what I've seen of the game, this horrifically tense direction? I don't do horror, I don't do suspense, I don't do thriller very well, and I found myself getting anxious as I was watching trailers and scanning through this. What specifically brought you guys into going, hey, we're going to make this most horrifically fucked up mental game possible?
Right. Well, with this kind of a game, you are in this military black site and you are crazy. You've been experimented on, and you are suffering from all sorts of psychosis as a result of that. So the music and the sound and the general atmosphere of the game, we really needed it to match that kind of a psychosis, so that you felt as a player like you could be inside of the head of this character that is crazy. And the music is is not necessarily always doing something active, but it's always keeping you a little on your toes, even if it's subtle, just so you always feel uncomfortable.
I think that we share the general feeling of that jump scares are really cheap,
Right.
and that true horror, especially some of my favorite horror films, are all about what you're thinking might happen and not what's actually about to happen. It's just really that really is truly terrifying. And jump scares are just cheap and they're easy, you know. So that's why we did take a lot of the inspiration from games like Amnesia, because that's exactly what they did. They had that terrifying monster, but he never jumped out at you. He would just be at the end of a long hallway and start chasing you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a sudden scare; it's a really gradual fear.
Drawn out.
Actually,
Yes.
when I play horror games, I prefer the jump scares, mostly because the coming at you from a long way away makes me cry like a baby. That's the only reason I like it. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're designing that sound, you're making it uncomfortable. Are you using? Are you doing your own sound effects too, or are you using those like stock sound effects?
So there are a few things that are heavily modified stock sounds, but for the most part, it's all original content. For the music, we were lucky enough to be able to record with a 40-piece string orchestra, so that ended up being awesome. And then supplemented that with a lot of instruments I created myself, just out of various things. One of the monsters, so each of the monsters has sort of a distinct sound and feel to them. So when you hear hints of them in the music, you know that they may be sort of looming around. One of the characters, his sort of main sound was made out of actually rubbing a big gin bottle against a pot, and the pot had these ridges on it, so that towards the center of the pot it was a higher pitch, and then on the outside it would get to a lower pitch, and so you get this like ow, you know, and there's this horrifying sound that you can then reverse and stretch and add all sorts of effects to, and just create that kind of a sound.
So you're going to use the audio cues to kind of let you know when danger is approaching.
Right. I mean, the music as a whole is extremely dynamic. So you might be walking around and there's tense but still fairly neutral explore music. And then as you approach some of the enemy types, you can hear hints of them in the music, and you know that they're looming around the corner. And then all of a sudden, maybe you enter into some kind of a chase, and the music would follow that with your playing, and it would erupt into a faster-paced, tension-filled kind of a chase cue. And then if you escape, or if you die, or if the chase concludes somehow, the music would be able to morph back into a different state. And so every player, when they play the game, actually ends up having a very different musical experience that's sort of perfectly tailored to their actions.
That's awesome. I'm really excited.
My next question is going to put you guys kind of on a little bit of the spot. You're, at the time of this recording, 8 days away from your game being launched. Do you have any concerns about the launch? Are you guys freaking out? And I know that everybody hopes for a fantastic launch, myself included, but how do you anticipate players' reactions to this project, this game?
Very good question. I think we're nervous just because it's our first project. It's blown up way bigger than we ever expected. So yeah, we are nervous to make sure that we are not squandering this opportunity that's to us. Yep. But at the same time, we feel very confident that it's going to be a great game. We're really excited to see how streamers and especially speedrunners react to the fact that the game is frustratingly shifting on them so they can get the perfect run. I cannot wait to see that happen.
Yeah, that shifting aspect. Oh man, that's what because I mean everyone when I say inspired at the beginning, when I say inspired by the frictional games, that's why I said when you're throwing in your own twist of that ever changing, mind bending. Not I call it nonsense because I'm angry because I'm going to be scared. So that's what I'm really excited about. The other thing I wanted to get to, like I said, not only is the sound important, but the art is important. And was that on the left? You guys can't see what I'm pointing to because it's my screen anyway. obviously there's two different things when it comes to the art. There's the background, there's the ambience with that, and then there's the actual design of, for instance, the enemies. Do you want to kind of let's start with the ambience and the background. What was your thinking process when it came to designing the setting?
Well, the biggest part in this game is the atmosphere, in my opinion. So I really wanted to make a game that didn't disturb the player. Like it should be pretty low key and nothing that sticks out too much. But still, we needed to make every piece pretty unique so that the player doesn't get confused where you are or too confused. I think the inspiration is like the setting is pretty unique itself, so it was just following that setting and trying to make it as realistic as possible. Like you're in a bunker, and I'll have to make a bunker setting and make that as good as possible.
Dennis did design some fantastic, all the art is fantastic that Dennis made for us, but he did design these posters that do exist in the world that have these very specific, this very specific feel to it in terms of pushing the timeline of the game.
Right. Yeah, and it's like set in the 60s or 70s or something like that. So it has a feeling like it's the Cold War era. Like everything is mass produced, so that it's mass produced by the army and the government. So and that's a good thing for making art, like being one artist on the team and making stuff that looks like it's mass produced, and I can use it a lot of times in the game, and it doesn't feel weird.
And speaking of, you mentioned the posters. I'm not sure if I'm going crazy, but I feel like when I talked to Emmy, your PR rep, before about the game, isn't there some things with the atmosphere, like the posters and things like that, that kind of change with your along with your mental stability and things like that? Or am I?
Like,
maybe you're already going crazy.
Maybe I am already going crazy. I feel like I know, like, because you mentioned things change with, because you have to take pills or in order to keep yourself sane and things like that, or you're not sure what's real. And I feel like maybe there were things in the atmosphere or in the setting that would specifically that would mess with you. Am I on the right track here?
Actually, the game changes depending on how insane you get. So we will give the player a different setting depending on how he feels, or
Yeah, for example, I like to think of this kind of like the AI director from Left 4 Dead. Okay. So basically we have some values internal to the game that's measuring the player's insanity levels. And what's interesting about it is that the insanity levels go up when terrifying things happen. So in a way, if the player actually playing the game is terrified by these experiences, it kind of ties them to the character in the game and the things that are happening. Yeah. So yeah, we do have, it's really interesting. We have like these office environments, where it's like wood doors, wood desks, and it looks like a normal office that would be in the 60s or 70s. But then as the player starts going more insane, we bring in these almost like Silent Hill inspired areas where it's like rusted metal, and like it connects so well. So where you could be walking down a hallway and then suddenly you notice like things are changing and it looks dirtier and more broken down, and it really all has to do with the insanity level, and it's really a core concept. Yeah. It also ties into the dynamic music, where you get more disturbing sounding music and sound effects and
hallucinations.
Hallucinations and visual effects. It's really such a core concept of the game, and we've been able to build so many systems off of that to really make it central to the experience.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think that's what I was talking, like the hallucinations and things like that. That's probably what I was thinking of. But like Rev said, I'm probably just nuts also. And then, not to steal you from Rev, I had a follow up to that. Was the second part was the models for the monsters. I know you don't want to spoil anything, but is there anything that you can kind of give a sneak peek to? You actually have on the stream. It doesn't look like a lot of people, but there's actually, it's like a whole group of people. You're broadcasted on someone's projector right now, so you have a whole group of people, like 100 people or something like that, watching you right now. So, can you give them a sneak peek into kind of like what the monsters are going to be like, artistic wise, and maybe some mechanics or something like that?
So there is actually a gameplay trailer live from a few days ago, maybe a week.
Yeah.
That shows off just a tiny bit, and that's how much we can show off.
All right. Well, I mean, I linked you guys in the chat that are watching right now, so go click on that and watch the trailer if you're curious. Good.
Okay, so I have a couple of real quick, kind of technical, more technical questions. First, I noticed that your game does not support subtitles at the moment. Is that because there's no spoken dialogue anywhere in the game, or do you plan on putting subtitles in for those of us, such as myself, who are hard of hearing?
No, absolutely. There is spoken dialogue in the game. We have a whole note system, which does have amazing VO by a bunch of different of the voice artists that we were able to get for the project. It's more of a localization process that we will be going through at some point to make sure that there are subtitles in the game.
So it will be there. And then do you guys, I see you're releasing on Mac and Windows, but you don't yet have plans for a Linux build, is that correct?
Yeah, so our team is kind of like half Mac, half PC, so that's like had to test with. We're very interested on getting as many platforms as possible, not like, like an iPhone. That doesn't really make sense for this kind of person. Yeah, we would love to get onto Linux. It's just a matter of time right now. We've had the time to fortunately get both Mac and PC. But we would like to get Linux in the future, possibly maybe even consoles. We've been looking, and it all depends on how the game performs. If it performs really well, we're going to be able to port it to more systems, possibly looking at things like VR to help enhance the experience. So, yeah, we're very much anticipating the launch next week to see exactly where we can go from there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. And then my last...
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No.
Like...
I feel like I've been hogging because I've been super excited about this game.
You guys... Okay. Yeah, no, totally understandable. You guys decided to partner with Meridian 4 as your publisher. They have a history of publishing other really good games, so I'm excited to see this one once it's released. But obviously they've got good taste. What was the deciding factor for your team in partnering with them to bring Hektor out to the public?
Yeah.
I mean, it was really just like, it was such an exciting opportunity that we never really expected. We were planning on doing Greenlight or something like that, and then suddenly, the thing with Meridian happened, and it was just like, why not? We were trying to really get the game off the ground, and we felt like, if we... not that Meridian 4 is a bad choice at all, but I'm just saying, like, if we waited too long to then try to explore options, that it would, maybe the project wouldn't come through, we'd run out of money, that kind of thing.
Right.
But, they kind of scooped us up and helped us a lot really, with everything that we've been doing toward the project, and we do owe them a lot.
Well, they've obviously got a good eye. All right, is there anything else that you want people to definitely know about Hektor right now? And also maybe some contact like Twitter and Facebook, all that sort of stuff?
We have playhektor.com is our website.
Yep. Also Rubycone.com.
And you can always also find us on Twitter at Rubycone Games.
Okay.
Yeah. As for anything that we want people to know about the game, I don't know. I feel like that we've shown everything that we would like to show, because obviously we want to keep as much mystery as possible. We want to make sure that the experience is intact for when it actually launches.
Right.
But people should expect a very fun, dynamic experience that they'll be able to replay multiple times, get a lot out of it. It'll be a lot of fun to watch, anyone on Twitch or on YouTube, and it's going to be a good time when it comes out.
In regards to that, something that I assume you're planning on unveiling soon, but I'd kind of like to know in advance, how much is the game going to cost? I didn't find that information anywhere.
I don't believe that we've actually announced that.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Surprise.
All right.
And,
I'm sorry. I get all the names mixed up. Like I have the names, but I don't. The behind the artist. I don't think we've heard from you yet. Is there? You're another programmer.
This is Johan.
Johan.
Yeah, I'm just a programmer.
Okay. Now, just I want to get everyone involved because you've all been working hard on this, and it looks fantastic. I can't say that enough times, but as far as the programming aspect goes, I'm kind of curious. What are some like the biggest challenges that you came across, programming wise?
We've had a lot of fun building all the dynamic systems, of course, and also the procedural generation of the levels. And it has been challenging to like balance the randomness of it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, but and we also ended up having to what is it?
Our random system is called Jigsaw,
Okay.
and it works a lot like how you would expect. It's kind of like a big puzzle that you have, and there's multiple pieces that can fit into one slot, and it just kind of lines it up when you're good to go. But yeah, it has been very difficult to strike the balance between frustrating randomization and the randomness level that we were going for. Because you don't want to constantly be shifting everything to the degree where the player has no idea where they are, and it's a complete luck if you happen to get to where you're trying to go. But it's set. We've been balancing it over an iterative process to the point now where the game will actually eventually subtly push you toward your goal, not in a way that makes the player feel dumb, but it'll keep kind of lining you up towards your destination. And it's very interesting to see, actually, as a developer, playtesting my own system that Johan, me and Johan helped. We worked on together. It's very interesting seeing that just kind of work out. It's really weird, actually.
It's really cool. It's really cool that you made your own mechanic, or your own, I guess you would say, engine. I'm not a dev, so this is all jargon to me, but. I think that's really cool, and it's interesting. I think this is going to be YouTube gold, not only because horror is always popular on YouTube, obviously, because people don't want to play; they want to watch other people play. But also with the replayability, with the randomness, and if anyone's masochistic enough to keep playing through multiple times, so I'm really excited to see the kind of like the response online for that. Let's see, Rev, is there anything else that you had? Or
my last question actually comes from several of our audience members. They're not currently with us unless they're lurking, but I was asked to pass along the question: do you fold or crumple your toilet paper?
Well, as a Universal team, we take a lot of inspiration from the areas that we come from. I answer that myself. I'm from New Jersey, so. Figure it out.
You're from New Jersey, so you use the litter along the street. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, kind of.
No, guys,
I'm from Pennsylvania. You're my neighbor, so it's like.
This game looks absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I don't do horror suspense. I am anxiously awaiting the change of my underpants when I play this. So you guys. Feel proud. You guys have got something really exciting here, and I can't. 8 days. Yeah, 8 days.
Really excited to play the game, and hopefully. By the way, I know there's a lot of Let's Players watching right now. If they do want to put it on YouTube, the monetization policy, I'm assuming, is it okay?
Yeah. Yep, we're fine.
Yeah. All right, cool. And so I'm hoping to do that too. And again, for those of you watching, thank you for joining us. This is Rubycone Games, the developers of I'm looking at the wrong screen. The developers of the horror game Hektor, coming out in 8 days. They're remotely coming in from GDC and having a lot more fun than we are. Probably. Wish we could be there. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for answering our questions, and great freaking job, because I cannot wait to play it. I say that a million times over.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. Well, see you later, guys.
Have fun at GDC.
Bye.